This was a pivot from law to beauty and marketing a product. It's a lot of education as part of that as well.
All right. So, welcome to the You Are a Lawyer podcast. Raana Kashani Gregg, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, me too. So, we were just chatting before the recording. You are a beauty brand founder and a lawyer, and I have not talked to anyone who has both of those titles.
So I kind of started late in terms of getting married and having kids. I was working full time as an attorney, and my husband to be, I was based in San Jose, and he was working for Latham and Watkins. He's also an attorney in San Francisco. So we met, actually, this is in 2002 through Match.com. We were pioneers. Let's put it this way. We were one of the pioneers. I don't know why they're not doing any ads with us or anything. So because we were both working full time, and we would have never met if it wasn't for the dating app. And that's how we met. We met, we hit it off, we married within like 6 months of meeting each other. And it's been almost 22 years now.
Wow.
So,
congratulations.
Thank you. So, when it's right, it's right. There was no point in waiting. So I was older, I just was turning 40. And when I got married and had kids right away, basically, everyone was telling me, you don't have time to wait. If you want to have a family, you gotta I'm like, oh my goodness, I am have to speed up the schedule because of biology. But anyway, so we had kids, and my son, who's my second born, was born with food allergies.
Okay.
Part of that comes eczema, usually. So eczema, they prescribe a kind of steroid cream for you to apply. And in order for me to apply, I had to use my fingers to apply steroid to his patches. And this was, something that I had to do daily. I didn't realize that steroid actually thins your skin. So what happened was I developed severe dermatitis on my fingertips. And that was my aha moment, that half of what I'm applying to him is actually getting absorbed by me, by my hands, by my skin, and that I have no transparency how much medicine I'm applying to him. He's a growing boy. I want to apply as little as possible of this, potent steroid to him. And so I said, okay, I'll go online and I'll buy an applicator to apply. And lo and behold, this is when I realized there is a huge white space where there was no applicator that was hygienic, that was reusable, that I could use to just apply any kind of topical to my skin. And my husband said, oh no, I'll find it for you. I'm sure you're like, we made a bet. I'm like, but I've been looking. He's like,
yeah.
You know how men are. It's like, I'll find it for you. And he didn't find it. And so it was out of a personal need. So gloves, which a lot of people use in these kind of situations, is a one-time use product that is really not eco-friendly. You have to use it, dispose of it, ends up in the landfill. I wanted something that was non-porous, hygienic, that you could reuse and easy to clean. So just to show you, it's not rocket science, but it's something that really works well.
Yeah.
You apply the product, because it's non-absorbent, you apply it to your skin so you never get it on your fingers. And in terms of beauty, FDA has a whole section on this. It's like, do not contaminate your skincare. And people say, but I just washed my hands. And what's happening with washed hands is we have grooves, we have wrinkles, we have pores in our skin, which even if your hands are clean, you still have natural oils, you still have residual germs and bacteria that you put in the jar, or you touch the dropper to your face, you put it back in the jar, it contaminates the entire jar. And what it does is then starts degrading the active ingredients. So we're paying hundreds of dollars for these active ingredients, I don't know, retin A, vitamin C, whatever it is. And within the first few weeks, because of the contamination, it starts getting degraded. And especially with clean beauty, they have less potent preservatives in it, which makes it more prone to getting contaminated with germs and bacteria. So this was basically a tool that was born out of personal need It took a life of its own. We took it to our first trade show right after the pandemic, Cosmoprof in Las Vegas. And I wanted to put it in front of the beauty insiders to see what they think of it, if it's a viable, product.
Yeah.
And the reception, the positive comments, and everyone saying, oh, I hate using my fingers. I waste so much product. I'm always worried whether my fingers are clean when I touch my face when I'm outside the house. And like, these are beauty insiders and were telling me they don't have anything like this. That was my okay, we have something here. And you know how it is. Law, I basically had to go inactive when my son was diagnosed with these food allergies, and it was very hands-on because I had two kids that were 1 year apart. So I had two toddlers, and I was like, I'm going to commit malpractice. This is just not gonna, because I had my own practice when we first got married. I was working for a firm in San Jose, and then we got married, moved to San Francisco, and I started my own practice focusing on estate planning, corporate law. And so that's what was my practice. And when I had my children and they were a year apart, within 4 years, it was really becoming untenable to kind of tend to their needs, especially with my son's severe food allergies. So yes, this was a pivot from law to beauty and marketing a product that it's easy. I think skincare is easier because people know what a moisturizer is. I put it on the shelf. It's like, is it a razor? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
So that part of marketing is something that I have to educate. We do a lot of Instagram lives. I go on different brands and I talk to them. So it's a lot of education as part of that as well.
Yeah, but that's a natural for a lawyer, right? We love to teach people other things. We love to train. We love to educate. So first of all, this is an absolutely amazing story. So did the topical creams that you were applying to your child, did they help him? Did they clear up his or help with the itching and scratching and all of it?
Yes.
Okay.
If I did, I'm not going to say they were 100% successful. First of all, with these kind of things, it's consistency.
Okay.
It's like, like being really religious about keeping up with the schedule of applying it. And, with children, there is nothing consistent when it comes to, there is no schedule. There's like one day it happens, one day it doesn't happen. So, so in terms of when we were able to be on a schedule and really apply, and that's when I was really realizing how thin my fingertips had, the skin on my fingertips had become. It was really calming it down. It wasn't bleeding. It wasn't peeling as much, but it is a difficult regimen to keep up because it's day in, day out.
Okay.
And
so that's a small win that at least it was improving his skin while it was deteriorating yours though.
Yes.
That is mind blowing to me. And so the thing that really makes me the happiest is that you saw an issue, you saw a void, and you were like, I can feel this. Yes. I can figure out what to do. Because I hope you pat yourself on the back because a lot of people don't do that. You are absolutely a pioneer. That's a huge deal.
Thank you so much, Kyla. You know how we have these visions of ourselves as we are a little girl, we're growing up, what we're going to be doing, things like that. I always envisioned myself as an inventor. It's so funny. I had a book of inventions. I would scribble my, I swear to you, yesterday was my birthday. I turned 61 years old. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. This is many, many years ago. So I drew one of my inventions, which they now have. I'm just blows my mind. I swear to you. I was so lazy. I would always sit watching something. It's like, Mom, can I have a glass of water? And my mom's like, well, come and get it yourself. I'm in the kitchen, So I'm thinking as a 8, 9 years old, wouldn't it be nice to have a little, a cart on wheels with a little electronic eye, where I could just my mom can put the glass of water on it and it will come toward me, when I summon it. And I was I would draw all these inventions.
Yeah.
So throughout, just growing up and going to law school, you kind of get away from those initial passions and things that you thought of when you were younger.
Yeah.
And And so this was an opportunity to kind of tap into this passion that I had as a young child. And this was was the guiding light, is that what is it that I'm really looking for? Something that is hygienic, non-porous, easy to clean, reusable. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not rocket science.
Well, it's not rocket science, but it also required the right foundation. Yeah. If you hadn't grown up daydreaming about being an inventor, you would have just sued the pharmaceutical company for harming you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so
that
for you
would
to
have been another approach.
Yes. And so for you to say, well, how can I fix this for everyone else who's going through this? Yes. That's the part that I'm really like just celebrating, because I think that it requires a lot of vision, but it also requires you to take risk. Yes. Because you could have happily just kept practicing law and been like, well, somebody else will figure it out. And you were like, no, I'm figuring it out. I'm going to do it right now.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because it's truly a risk.
Yeah.
You're giving up a known and kind of throwing yourself into this complete unknown. One of the disadvantages I've had, Kyla, in this field, many people who have skincare brands, many people who are in the beauty field actually started in marketing. They tell me, oh, I worked for beauty brands, 20 years of marketing for this, or 20. They knew all the players. They know how to market something. They know where to start, who to talk to immediately position this unknown in front of the right audience. And that, I think for me, I did my own patent application. Like I saved them a lot of money when it came to the legal stuff. Let's put it this way, right? Yeah. Because when you start a business, there's also a lot of law involved in starting. We have an LLC. We have to do we need to register in China? Do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? And so there is a lot of money that other people pay to have attorneys look at the contracts, set up the corporation properly, all of that. I saved money there, but where it was challenging for me was that marketing element, where this is not something they teach us in law school. Because when I started my own practice, again, that's another business that you need to market, right? It's not just like you have now suddenly, clients materialize for you. So I really think law schools are remiss that they're not having these kind of classes. Yeah. as part of the curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, I got to dig a little deeper. So right out of law school, you started your own practice. Did you intern while you were in law school or do anything
No. I worked for a boutique firm in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
For many, many years.
Okay.
It was right after I got married. It was in year 2000.
Okay.
When I started my own practice. I graduated in 1991.
Okay. All right. So you graduated and then you worked for a small boutique firm for a while and then you started your own business.
It's even more interesting than that. Sorry.
Oh, give it to me. Tell me.
Sorry. I've had a very winding road. So I'm originally from Iran.
Okay.
And so I, of course, grew up here. I went to school here. I went to Santa Clara University Law. So when I graduated, I went back home to visit, and I had not been back in a very long time because Iran had this horrible revolution that just kind of dismantled the entire society. But I hadn't seen my childhood home. I hadn't seen my, parents in a long time. And so I'm like, after I graduate law school, I'm going to go and visit. And I went back to visit, and I suddenly was offered this position in an international law firm in Tehran. Wow. That for the government, the Swiss government, these were people who were reading trade agreements, international agreements for people who wanted to do business in Iran. So there was basically one really high level law firm in Tehran, all Western educated lawyers who basically also had passed the bar in Iran. They were lawyers in Iran. So I didn't have that background. All I had was my American education, but I was, educated in law. And they're like, you would be perfect. We need you to review these agreements. These are, this will be. And I was like, and they were paying me in dollars.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, that was huge. So I'm like, well, let me give this a try, for I'll be with my parents. And, so I was actually there for 2 years. The
Yeah.
fact that I was working on these very high power agreements. And when it came to the meeting in Switzerland, I was not being invited. And I was like, hey, this is not sustainable for me.
Yeah.
I just, it was like, okay, I need to go back and kind of just start my law practice in earnest. And that's when I came and started working. These are people that I actually interviewed with out of law school. So I started with them, and it was great.
I think that makes so much sense, though, because for the law students who are listening, right, a lot of times you can't see how your decisions fit into your current life, because you have to be looking back, right? You can only connect the dots when you're looking back. At the time, you're just like, oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do this. And looking back, it makes sense. You had a whole journal of inventions. So you've always been, this has been in your subconscious for all this time that you're going to be this creator. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was something that really came full circle. And every part of the experience of being an attorney, the journey of working at different places. I remember as part of the boutique firm that I was working with, it was a local agency for water management, waste management. And I had to do the research. I became like an expert in I was like, how is this happening? But like every part of that is something that makes you, I don't want to say this in a flippant way, you go to parties, you have so many interesting stories and expertise and things that you dove deep into that you can talk about. And what is interesting about pretty much every lawyer I've met, they're very multidimensional because we do get exposed to a lot of different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't think we've mentioned the name of your business. So what is the name of the beauty brand clean skin company that you created?
So the name is Luna Essent.
Okay.
And the way the name came about was Luna means, of course, moon. And essent means to become. And in my culture, when someone has a very nice skin, they say your face shines like the moon.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So Luna Essent means to become like the moon, basically. And it was playing on different cultures and languages and bringing all those elements into the name. So it's called Luna Essent Clean Skin Labs. And we have these clean products. And just to show you the product, the gift box that actually has been very popular for the holiday. I actually created this like a little nice note card because the instructions are on the back. So if someone wants to give this as a hostess gift.
Yeah.
We have so many friends that during the holidays, you're like, that person has everything. What am I going to get that person? It's just, this is truly one of those things that no one has.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I pick a couple up. And so, do you actually sell products or do you sell the applicators or do you do both?
Yes. So my products are the applicator, the accessories that comes with it. If you're traveling, you can put it in this, to carry it in your purse. If you're on the plane, you don't want to get up and wash your hands to apply, some sort of sunscreen or anything like that. But then because I'm not a competitor to skincare brands, I'm a complement to them, right?
Okay.
I have a lot of collabs with different skincare brands that basically pair up my applicator with their products, and they offer it as a bundle. And those are available on my website as well. There's actually more that is available that are not all on my website.
That is so smart. That's like a whole affiliate arm to it. I love this. This is very, very cool. So you have the applicator, and I want to talk about patents for just a little bit. Because when I worked in a big law firm, I worked in the intellectual property department. We were working with third-party sellers. And to be admitted to the patent bar, you have to have an engineering background before law school.
Yes.
Patents are not something that you're just like, oh, I think I'm going to file a patent today. So what was that process like? I know it was difficult, but I mean, how did you motivate yourself to get through it?
I'm still patent pending. After
Okay.
2 years, I'm still patent pending. That's
Yeah.
how torturous this whole process is. Okay. So please don't think this is like a linear, easy
Okay.
process. You more than anyone would know this. But yes, so true what you said. So we did have help from attorneys in my husband's firm that did, that was their specialty, because my husband's a litigator and I never did patent before, even though I have a minor in chemistry, because that's
Wow.
another story. I was going to become a law. I was a pre-med student. So I had all these biology and chemistry classes I didn't know what to do with. I ended up with a minor in chemistry,
And then you create a beauty applicator, Clean Skin Labs.
Yeah, so the process was you have to look at what's out there in a prior search that you have to do, and prior arts, I should say, it's a term of art that you use for all those other tools that might be, it's like, oh, it's too similar to yours. And, so for this reason, your patent is rejected, or you need to tweak it. So we're in that process because there is a patent out there for a tool that is not even being produced. That is what is really frustrating about a lot of patent applications and patent things out there, because they call it patent trolls and things like that, where just someone puts something, they're not even being produced, they're not even out there, but they are hindering other people, let's put it this way. So this tool is exactly the opposite of my tool, because it actually has grooves. So my whole reason for existence of this tool is that there are no nooks and crannies. There is no product waste. So you use half the amount of product. So if you have a $150 bottle of serum that you use in a month, with this, you would use it for 2 months, because that's how much product truly is getting absorbed into our hands and our fingers. And it's non-porous, it's hygienic, it's platinum grade silicone, which is the highest level of silicone, that it's non-toxic, doesn't leach chemicals onto your skin, into your products. Immediately after 2 years, it was about 2 years, they're like, okay, we are rejecting some of these claims because it's too similar to this other tool. So this is the process. The process is, you have a claim, you have to really be very specific and think about what uses you want to have in the future. Of course, all of that. And put all of that, and then you go back and forth with the examiner. Very few patents, I would say, that are like immediately, yeah, you're approved, here you go, So then you do this dance with them as to, here, this is what we have and why this is different than the prior art searches.
Yeah. Wow. And I'm just picturing you, and you're just like, this is going to help people. I'm going to keep going. It's going to help somebody. It's going to save their fingertips. It's worth it.
You talked about risk, Kyla. It's also a financial risk, because you have something, because when people use it, I have the testimonials, I have firsthand now, more and more dermatologists, more and more plastic surgeons, because this is a tool that is very, very useful post-treatment tool. For people who do microneedling, for people who do dermaplaning, for people who do chemical peels. Skin is irritated, so then anything that is not hygienic or is harsh on your skin can actually irritate and can cause, exacerbate the situation, cause scarring, if it's severe. So with this tool, a lot of plastic surgeons are using it for suture care, because it's soft and cushiony and hygienic, so they can apply that ointment without hurting the skin. And it's, again, because it's non-porous, they can keep it in alcohol, wipe it, and reuse it. So at home, I just do soap and water, and it's clean. I just reuse it. So yeah, it is something that is multi-purpose and very useful. And when people use it, they love it. The challenge is, how do you tell people without having VC funds behind you, right? Because this is a self-funded project. And how much am I willing to put into marketing this thing? So that's why TikTok, truly for smaller brands,
It's
Kyla,
useful.
it is huge because I don't get that kind of exposure on
Yeah.
Instagram. Or, I put a video of myself on TikTok driving my son to school. And while I'm stuck in traffic, I forgot to put my sunscreen on. I have my applicator. I put my sunscreen and I'm applying it. And I told my son, hey, can you video me as I'm doing this? And I'm stuck in traffic doing this without getting it on the steering wheel, without getting white marks all over the dashboard or on my clothing. I swear to you, within 3 days, I had like 84,000 views.
That's amazing.
So those are exposure that someone saw this product without me having to spend money on it. And that's why TikTok for smaller brands is really useful. And I know a lot of people are kind of like freaking out about TikTok going, but I wish they would do more fundamental and foundational where they protect people from having our information being used in nefarious ways, but at the same time giving us that opportunity to be able to do it where we're marketing our products.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good to have the option, right? Yes. McDonald's is allowed to exist. You don't have to eat it every day, but it can still exist, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what a free society and free economy is. So
yeah. So how old is your son now, if you don't mind me asking? And is he still impacted by eczema?
My son is 18.
Okay.
He's in his first year of college.
Wow.
This is my first year of being an empty nester. My daughter left last year. She's in Washington, D.C. She wants to become a lawyer as much as we're like. So she's looking for internships and she got a thing with Jimmy Panetta. And so she's really excited. So she's in her second year. My son is in his first year. He's 18. And yes, eczema, unfortunately, is still there. And it is a concern because now he has some patches around the corners of his eyes. And so he actually uses this every day. He uses his moisturizers. So especially with eczema on the face, it's very prone to infection. So this has been kind of a lifesaver for him.
Okay. Oh, well, wishing him the best. Yay. And so my very last question for you is, what would you say to your daughter about what she could do with her law degree?
So she of course was in president of her debate team, and she's like all about policy and debating, and you know how it is, those kids. So from a very young age, she's been very involved in legislations and basically doing things that can benefit. And Gen Z really is kind of very socially minded. So she's in the right place. She's in Washington, D.C. And so it is a unfortunate, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate truth that forming those connections early on really is important because, it's all about interpersonal relationships, and you need to know who can help you if you have a goal like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Including how I found your product, and now I can tell everybody I know, and they can listen to the podcast and be like, wait, lawyers as beauty brand founders? Yes. Yes.
Lawyers can do anything, Kyla. Anything.
Lawyers can do anything. Absolutely anything.
We have the foundation. So I think you can go on for years and just we'll see like the different career paths that people have taken with a law degree. Yeah,
I know
your old episodes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was actually enjoying it. So
yes, I've talked to so many people because, to your point, lawyers do everything. There's always somebody new doing something. So thank you so much, Raana. I really appreciate this.
It was so wonderful meeting you.
Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you so much, Kyla.
Bye.
Bye-bye.